Hey Loopers, Melissa here from LovableLoops.com. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to make a red hood. This would be perfect for a little Red Riding Hood costume for Halloween, or even if you wanted to be a character from The Handmaid's Tale. I have already created the hood portion, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I did that. I think what I thought was the more difficult part was picturing how to put it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you exactly how I made this rectangle, how I sized it out, what crochet hook I used, how many stitches, and all of that. And then I'll show you how to finish it off. So for the adult size and the child size, I have both patterns written on my blog, and I'll link to that below. What you want to do is, ideally, if you're making it for yourself, you want to measure yourself. So let's say this is you here. You want to measure from one shoulder over your head and to your other shoulder. Okay, and you want to measure that. I measured in inches. And for myself, using a K 6.5 millimeter crochet hook and this really pretty number 5 bulky weight yarn, I ended up chaining 102. And I chained 102 because I double crocheted, I started my double crochets in the third chain from my hook. So that's what I did here. So from this end to this end, I started with a chain of 102, and then I double crocheted in the third chain from the hook, and then in each chain across. Okay, and then all I did for each row was just double crochet all the way across. So at each new row, I would chain 2, double crochet across, chain 2, double crochet across, and I continued doing that until my work reached about 9.5 inches. I had measured the width of the hood from one of my hoodies, and it was about 9 inches, and I wanted it to be a little larger. And I did actually close one of these sides with stitch markers, and I tried it on, and it fits perfectly. Now, I measured my daughter before she left for school this morning, the same way here, and I put a stitch marker on here, and then I counted how many stitches it was, and for her it came out to be 80 stitches. So my recommendation is, if you're making an adult size hood, you are going to chain 102 and then begin your double crochets in the third chain from the hook. And if you're making a child size, go ahead and chain 82 and then do the same. You're going to start with your double crochets in the third chain from the hook. Now, I have not decided yet how wide it should be for a child, but by the time I post this tutorial, I'll make sure that I have the pattern on my blog linked below, so you can just go check in the notes down below. Okay, so now we have this long rectangle, okay, and this was really easy to make. It's very simple. You just double crochet back and forth across for each row. So I didn't want to take too much time. I know the past few tutorials I've done have been very long tutorials because I have shown you step by step. But I didn't think it was necessary because there were no increasing or decreasing. There was nothing complicated about this. If you don't know how to double crochet, I do have a video tutorial on that on my channel. So now that this is ready, what I want to do is I want to close up one of the sides. Now this right here is because I ran out of yarn. I had to use more yarn. And just, I guess as a note, I did use all 5 ounces of one ball and then just a tiny bit, as you can see, from this second ball. And I picked this up at Joann Fabrics yesterday. It was on clearance. Big twist yarns. I really enjoyed working with this. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll link to it below for you. All right, and again, I'm using a K 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, and that's what I used to crochet this. So we need to close up one of the sides here. So what I'm going to do is, since I want to crochet in this direction, I'm going to close up the seam so that I can sew these these ends together going this way, since my yarn is on this side, okay? So you're going to go ahead and insert your hook back into where you had finished that last row. And it doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong side because you're crocheting back and forth. That's why it has this look to it. Okay? So both sides look exactly the same. So there's no wrong side. So it does not matter which side is facing outward, okay? You're going to go ahead and just, in those stitches, you're just going to single crochet them together. all the way down that seam. Make sure you're lining them up correctly with each other. Now this hood really didn't take me too long. I don't know exactly how much time, but it was fairly quick. I was pretty happy with it. I think it would be great for Halloween costume because typically with Halloween you're just wearing it the one day. So you might not want to spend too much time on a project. And you could always make this in a different color and just add, you know, something extra to it and make it a different character for Halloween. Just a very simple hood. And again, you're just going to crochet all the way across to close up that seam. And once again, to save some time, since I don't want to make this video super long like my past videos have been, I'm going to go ahead and finish. I'm going to get up to here and then I'll show you how I'm going to finish off that yarn. So you're just going to continue, line up those stitches and just single crochet them together. So you just pass your hook through both. Make a regular, oop, okay, don't do that. Pass your hook through both stitches, pull that yarn through, and as you can see, that is closing up that seam there. And I think it looks really nice too. Okay, so I'll meet you back up when we get up here. Okay, so now we're at the end here, and what you're gonna do is go ahead and snip your yarn. Go ahead and leave enough yarn so that you'll have enough to sew it in on the inside. You're gonna finish off here, and you're going to use your tapestry needle to pass that yarn through to the inside of the hood, okay? And then later you'll go in and just weave that end in on the inside, okay? So you can see here, we have the back of the hood now, okay? So this is what it looks like from the side. This is the opening, okay? So what we're gonna do now is, I would like to give it a little more of a finished look, like the bottom edge here. This part looks okay because this is where the chain was. This was the chain, the beginning chain, all the way down this way. But this is where the ends, the two ends of the rectangle were, and I don't really like how it looks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and attach my yarn. I'm gonna attach it, so like if I hold the hood up with the bottom here, just like this, I'm gonna attach it on the right-hand side at the bottom of the hood, and I am going to half double crochet in between each of those stitches all the way around for the hood to this side, and we'll do this together. And then I will half double crochet along the bottom edge. And then when we're done with that, I will show you how to add some braids onto these two bottom corners. Okay. Let me grab my yarn here. It's a little tangled up because I had, I began making this, actually, I'm just going to cut this because this is way too tangly. I had started out making the hood a different way and then decided I didn't like it, so I decided to take this approach yesterday when I was working on my pattern. Okay, go ahead and attach your yarn, and again, we're going to half double crochet. If you want to double crochet, you could do that. You could single crochet. It all depends on what look you're going for. Okay. So attach your yarn, chain 2, half double crochet in that same space that you joined to, that you joined your yarn to, and then half double crochet in between each of those stitches. I was just thinking you could even follow one of the patterns for, so I have a unicorn hooded cowl that I think I uploaded it yesterday or the day before, tutorial on how to make that. I believe in the part 3, I show you how to make the unicorn horn. You could even, and the ears, so you could even just follow my tutorial for that part 3 of my unicorn hooded cowl, and make the horn and ears and sew that onto the top of this if you just wanted a unicorn hood. So again, I'm just half double crocheting around. This is the face opening. Okay, when you get to the corner, you'll want to chain 1 to go around that corner there, and then you're going to begin half double crocheting down the bottom side. So you can see that looks much more finished than this side. Okay, So go ahead and just finish half double crocheting till you get to the other side here. And what you're going to do here is you just chain one at the corner and then slip stitch into that first half double crochet you made. Okay, so I'll meet you back up here after you finish the bottom portion. Okay. Okay, so I finished half double crocheting along the bottom edge, and then I chained one in the corner and I joined to that first half double crochet. So this is what your hood looks like now, which is pretty awesome considering it was just a long rectangle to begin with. So I'm really happy with how this is turning out. So now what you're going to want to do, and I actually did this off camera for one side just so that the video would be a little shorter, but go ahead and pause this in just a moment. And what I did was I cut strips of yarn that were 30 inches long, and for each side you're going to want 12 30-inch long pieces of yarn, because what we're going to do is you're going to pull the yarn through. Actually, let me just show you. Okay, so go ahead and pause, cut your yarn, or you can watch this and then rewind it and do it at the same time. I think sometimes it's easier just to watch it first one time, because I'm sure you guys are like me, and if you are watching somebody do something crochet, you just want to do it yourself. You don't want to watch what they're doing. You want to watch your work, your crochet work. So I would just watch this once, pause it, and then cut your yarn. You can always rewind it. You want to insert your hook from the inside of the hood out, okay? So in this corner here, I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to use this hook to pull the yarn through to the other side. I have these are all approximately 30 inches long, and I have it folded in half, okay? That yarn's on my finger there. And I have inserted my hook from the inside out, and I'm going to grab some of this yarn and pull it through. And you want this in the corner here, because this is where we're going to make our braids. Okay, and this is how I do it. If there's going to be a lot of yarn and it's thicker, go ahead and put that on your finger there. You can pull it through, and you're going to go back and get the rest of it. Pull it through. Okay, you want to make sure you get all of those loops on your finger, and then pull back to make sure it's all even, okay? You are now, put your hook down, you're going to pass this yarn through the loop, okay? Fold it over and pull that yarn through. Now, since we had 12 strands of yarn, we just doubled it. So now we have 24 strands of yarn, and 24 divided by 3 is 8, and we need 3 sections to make our braid. So you're going to break this up into 3 sections of 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then this will be 8 also. And then you're just going to go ahead and braid it. I'm going to put something on here with a little bit of weight. That way it doesn't pull with me when I'm braiding it. I don't have a tutorial on how to braid. I could do that though if you guys need that. And there are a lot of different things. Instead of making a braid, you could just hang some strings or smaller braids and add beads or pom-poms to the end. I'm just going to be making a simple braid on each side for mine. Oops. Let's push that off the table. Okay. And then when you get close to the end, you're just going to loop it around, pull those yarn ends through, and then tie it nice and tight at the end. You don't want it to come apart. Okay, so there you have your hood and then one of the braids. And then of course you want to take your scissors and make sure that all of those ends are the same size so it looks nice and neat. And just cut it right across. Okay, and of course you could make that braid longer, but remember the hood is also a little bit longer. This isn't the size of a hat. Like typically when I do the hats, I like to have the braids longer, but this is already longer than a hat would be. So, but you can make the braids as long as you want, and you'll just repeat that for the other side. Okay. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. If you enjoy the shorter tutorials like this, where I do a lot of the work off camera and then just show you the parts that I think might be a little more difficult, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy the crochet alongs that where I show you every step, then let me know that too. And if you have any suggestions or comments, just let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm bringing you at least one YouTube tutorial every week while the kids are in school, and I have lots of ideas planned. So if you subscribe to my channel, you'll get alerts when my tutorials are posted. All right, thank you.